Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum. In this video, we will continue with example 2 from previous semester papers under mean value theorem for differentiation, which is under application of differentiation, right? The mean value theorem for derivatives state that if fx is continuous on a closed interval ab and differentiable on the open interval ab, then there exists a number C in AB such that f prime C equals to FB minus FA over B minus A. Right? If fx equals to square root of 100 minus x squared, find the value of C in the interval negative 10, 6. Right? Alright, this theorem states that we will have the value of C in this interval, negative 10, 6. Okay? And let's say if we have more than one value of C, okay, from the word there exists a number C in AB, means that, let's say if we find more than one value for C, means that at least one of the value of C must between this interval. Alright? So that's the theorem. Okay? State. Alright. So from here, okay, we have formula f prime C equals to FB minus FA over B minus A. Okay? So to use this formula, okay, first we need to find A, B, FA, FB. Okay? So step 1, identify the values of AB and FA, FB. And then from this theorem, we also have f prime C. So step 2, we need to find f prime C. But before we find f prime C, we need to find f prime x first. Alright? Alright, so our A equals to the begin of interval. So we just compare here. So we get A equals to negative 10. Okay. B equals to end of interval. We just compare here. So we get B equals to 6. Alright. After that, we find B minus A from this theorem. Okay. So B minus A equals to 6 minus negative 10. So equals to positive 16. Right. Then we need to find FA and FB. Okay, to find FA and FB, we need to refer from the given Fx. Okay, Fx equals to 100, square root of 100 minus x squared. Okay, so FA means F negative 10. We replace negative 10 into whatever x here. Okay, so after we simplify, we get 0. Okay, and then we need to find FB. Okay, FB means we replace B by 6. Okay, so when we find F6, we just replace 6 into whatever x here. Okay, so we get 100 minus 6 squared equals to 36. So 100 minus 36 equals to square root of 64. And after we simplify, so we get 8 here. Alright? Alright, after that, we can find FB minus FA. Okay, so FB equals to 8 minus FA equals to 0. So our FB equals to 8. Okay, so now we done find the value of the right hand side. Okay, FB minus FA over N B minus A. Okay. Alright, then we can continue with step 2. Okay, find f prime C. But to find f prime C, we need to find f prime x first. And to find f prime x, we need to differentiate from fx. Okay, so from the given question, fx equals to square root of 100 minus x squared. Okay. Alright, so to differentiate square root here, we need to write in terms of bracket to the power of half. Okay, and every time when we have bracket to the power of any value, Okay, we no need to expand, but we can differentiate using generalized power rule. Okay, so when we differentiate fx, we get f prime x. Okay, and then from here, we can differentiate using generalized power rule. We move power to the front, so we get half here. And then we copy the function in bracket. So we get 100 minus x squared. And then from the original power, half minus 1. So we get negative half. And then we multiply by, we differentiate the function inside bracket. So we get 0 minus 2x. Okay, so we get negative 2x here. Okay. Alright, after that, we can simplify 2 here. Okay. Then we get negative. And then we can move down to the power of negative half. When we move down, we get to the power of positive half. And to the power of positive half means square root. Okay. So we get denominator square root of 100 minus x squared. Okay. This is our f prime x. Then we can find f prime c. Okay. Alright. So our f prime c, we just replace x here by c. So we get negative and then c over square root of 100 minus, we replace x by c. So we have c squared here. Right. So at this point, we done find left hand side f prime c and fb minus fa and b minus a. Then we can continue with step 3, right? Alright, from the previous slide, under step 1, we done find b minus a equals to 16 and fb minus fa equals to 18. Okay, and from step 2, we done find f prime c. Okay, f prime c equals to negative c over square root of 100 minus c squared. So we done find b minus a, fb minus fa, and f prime c. Then we can continue with step 3. Use this formula. Okay, f prime c equals to fb minus fa over b minus a to find the value of c. Right? So from here, we replace f prime c equals to negative c over square root of 100 minus c squared. Okay, we replace here. And then we replace fb minus fa equals to 8. So we replace here. Okay. And then we replace b minus a. Okay, equals to 16. So we replace here. Okay. And after that, we can simplify right hand side, we get half. Okay. Then we cross multiply. So we get negative 2c equals to square root of 100 minus c squared. Okay. So to solve this equation, we move square root to left hand side. So when we move square root to left hand side, we get negative 2c bracket squared. So after we simplify, so we get positive 4c squared equals to 100 minus c squared. No more square root because we move square root to left hand side here. Okay, then we get squared. Okay. Alright, after that, we have 5. We move negative c squared to left hand side here. So we get 4c squared plus c squared. So we get 5c squared equals to 100. Okay. And c squared equals to 20. Okay. We want to find the value of c. So our c equals to square root of 20. When we get square root, okay, we must put plus minus sign here. Okay. Alright, and then from here, okay, c equals to positive square root of 20 equals to positive 4.472. Okay, and then we refer from the given interval here. Okay, the value of c here is between negative 10 and 6. Okay, so from here, okay, we can say that c equals to 4.472 472 valid in interval -10, 6. Alright? And then for the second value of C equals to negative square root of 20, which is negative 4.472. Okay, we compare from the given interval here. Okay, C must between -10 and half, and negative 4.472 here is also valid in interval -10, 6. Right? So we have two values of C here. Okay, so that's why when we have C squared here, when we solve square root, we must put plus minus sign. If we forget plus minus sign, so we just have one value of C. Okay, but in this case, actually we have two values of C that valid in this interval. Alright, so this is our final answer. Okay, both value of C are valid in interval -10, 6. Alright. Coming up next, chapter 4, which is integration. If you like this video, you can subscribe. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Bye. Assalamualaikum.